separate open house for like an exclusive open house for the neighbors prior to putting it on the market, or do you just invite everybody? Or
yes. So what I'll do is, if I do like a broker's open, so for example, I'll do brokers open for a brokers exclusive, 12 to 2. And then what I'll do is I'll do a neighbors from like 3 to whatever, 3 to 4, and then regular open house 4 to whatever, 7 or 6, depending on the what time of the year we're doing them. But you kind of kill, because what happens is the neighbors come over and they see all these people. We have food, obviously. We have music. Sometimes we'll have a DJ, and they're like, "Whoa, what is this? What's going on?" Yeah, and we'll do a theme. Yeah, our brokers open house. We've done like Cinco de Mayo. We've done Italian Fest. We've done cheese and wine night, and it's like the neighbors are coming over and they're like, "Wow, this real estate agent is really on top. They're doing all this where other agents are." And like you said earlier, Victoria, I like on my days off, I'll go to open houses. Like, I'll be in my baseball hat, workout gear, whatever, and people won't recognize me, and I'll see what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. What are they doing?
Yeah.
But and you're right,
That should be a good reality show.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll follow you around.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because most of the times I get ignored. No one says hi. If they have flyers, a lot of times they're just black and white MLS printout. Nothing about the property, nothing special. But then I see the other part where I see what agents do. They'll go, for example, I went to an open house, and this agent had actually baked the cookies herself and had individually wrapped them. And she put like a little thank you sticker. And to me, I was like, I got to do that, because how cool is that? She put all this time and effort into baking the cookies the night before. And then she put a little thank you. And I was like, in her card. And I was like, how cool is that?
That is nice,
Yeah.
especially with COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the Selling Sandoval podcast, where we dive deep into the world of real estate in sunny California. I'm your host, Victoria Sandoval, and I'm thrilled to have you join me as I sit down with top-notch professionals, market analysts, and influential leaders who have mastered the art of closing deals. Together, we'll explore the ever-evolving market trends, debunk myths, and empower you with the tools to negotiate like a pro. So whether you're a buyer, seller, or agent seeking inspiration, this podcast is your key to unlocking real estate success in California. This is the Selling Sandoval podcast. I'm Victoria Sandoval, and I'm excited to embark on this journey with you.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Selling Sandoval. I'm here with a really good friend of mine. His name is Sal Aguilera.
Hello.
He's been in the business for quite some time.
Yes.
He is a heavy hitter in the industry here in San Diego, and he actually is an open house expert. So I asked him to come by to share his knowledge. Welcome, Sal.
It's good to be here again, Victoria.
Yeah. He says again because he visited me.
Yeah, it's always a treat to see you, anyway. So it's fun times with Victoria.
Yeah, it's always a blast. So I've known Sal for quite some time, about 15 years.
Yes.
And we were youngins back then. We would go door knock and pass out.
We still look the same, right?
We do.
We haven't aged at all.
Actually, I think we look better.
Yeah. We're like fine wine.
Yeah.
The older we get, the better we get.
Yeah, it's the Hispanic genes. I don't know. My husband keeps getting better looking. I'm like, can you stop? I'm like, the woman's supposed to be better looking than the guy.
He's getting more attention, more likes than you.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not fair. Just anyhow. So talk about how you got into the business. Like,
right.
What made you get into real estate?
Well, the interesting thing is I've always been in sales since I was, young. My parents, they owned a business. Through high school, I worked at the mall, Plaza Bonita Mall. You know where that? Right? Yes. The South Side, South Bay. So anyway, started with a ROP program down there, which is, through high school, and got picked up, got hired, and then eventually worked my way up to management. And I've always been in sales, and I've always loved real estate. And the reason being is when we were little, we lived in a very, very small house. And our dream, especially my parents' dream, was to provide for us and have a big house. And eventually, through hard work, it happened. And to me, it really opened my eyes because always wanted to be in a big house. I always like, oh, that was my dream, because my cousins and my friends, they all had like big bedrooms and everything. And I shared a bedroom with like my mom and my sisters. And so finally, when opportunity came about to get into real estate, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I want to look into this, and been there, and here I am. Fast forward, as you know, I'm one of the co-managers there at Coldwell Banker West.
You are a manager at
Yes,
Coldwell Banker West. I
yes,
didn't
yeah,
mention that.
yeah.
He's actually received numerous awards. I didn't mention that.
Oh yeah.
I think I found the list. I saw the list. I'm like, this is too much. We'll be here the whole 30 minutes. So,
Yeah.
So if you want some good tips in the future, good
Yeah.
mentorship in regards to
Open houses, yeah.
he's the guy.
And customer service.
And customer service.
Yeah.
So you can DM him. I'll have his information.
Absolutely. I'm always willing to help, as you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he comes to the office and he trains our agents once a year. He has a mega open house training.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I brought him here so that he can share all of his tips and tricks.
Absolutely.
But going back to your upbringing, so you shared a room with your family.
Yeah.
And now, since we've been following each other all these years, I actually look forward to the holidays because you're home. You always feature your home. It's so beautiful. You have such great taste.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you start a little bit early, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Actually, I'm already starting now. Just kidding. No.
No,
I started around November because I love, once again, there's the creative side of me. When you grow up with not having much, and you look and you get ideas because you can't go and buy the expensive toy, or you can't go out and buy the expensive bike or whatever the case may be. So that's where you get creative and you build things and you put things together. And to me, it just came second nature. And it also falls in place with real estate because that's a service that I offer my clients is complimentary staging. Yeah. And especially, as you know, Victoria, in this market, you got to set yourself aside, apart from everybody else. And this is what's really going to get you the listing. Like, what are you going to provide for your sellers? So,
and I remember when I worked with you at Coldwell Banker West, our offices were kind of close to one another.
Yeah.
But I would have to walk by your office to go to mine, and I would always see these gift baskets.
Yeah.
You never ordered the gift baskets.
No, I made it myself.
Yeah.
On a budget.
Oh my gosh, but they're like these mega gift baskets.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I think you do a better job than the actual company.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So,
But to me, once again, it's about the customer experience. It's about making them feel special. Because there's a saying that I live by is people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And to me, my clients are special, and I want to make them feel special so that when something comes up, like, hey, a friend or a family member is thinking about, hey, I'm thinking about buying or I'm thinking about selling the house, and you know what? I got the perfect realtor. Let me call Sal.
absolutely.
Yeah, top of mind.
And that's another thing too. You were just so busy with your referral business.
Yeah.
You take such good care of your clients.
Right.
I always noticed
Right.
that.
Just today, one of our agents came to me and said, hey, Sal, he goes, are you doing an open house this weekend? And keep in mind, I do the classes on how to do an effective open house, and I teach my agents. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been a while. But the reason, like you said, Victoria, is the referral business is just keeping me busy. And don't get me wrong, I love doing open houses, and sometimes I do events as well. Like we do street events and festivals. Yeah, we have to be. We have to be. Yeah.
You guys are outside of the gym. You guys actually have
the Lemon Festival in Chula Vista.
right.
Yeah, Coronado. We, for the holidays, we do that as well. But it's like one of those things you got to be busy. You got to put yourself out there. You got to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do, like yourself. I mean, here we are today. How many people do podcasts?
Yeah.
Not a lot. But she's doing a good job. I tune in.
Awesome. Thanks for following.
Yes, of course. Always.
So let's talk about open houses.
Yes.
Once you decide, I'm going to do an open house. Let's just say you decide on Monday. I'm going to do an open house on Saturday. What is step number one?
Well, I think step number one is to make a big deal about it. Post about it on social media, create a reel, a post, take pictures. You also want to invite the neighborhood, the neighbors. You want to let them know, hey, this property just went on the market. Here's a perfect opportunity for you to come and check it out. But then also, like I said earlier, is do little things that other people don't do. For example, when I do my open houses, most people are going to walk in. They're going to be like, you know what? It's too small. It's too big. It's not in my price range. I'm looking for something a little bit different. So what I do is I put a packet together of other properties in the area so that when they tell me, you know what, this isn't going to work for me, I'm like, oh, what are you looking for? And then I bring out the packet and I go through it. I say, oh, here's for example, here's a 4-bedroom. It's within your price range. Is this something that you would want to look at? And then you start engaging and you start making communication with them. So
perfect. So somebody walks in and it's not the number of bedrooms or baths that they're looking for. So
or price point.
You just pull up all the listings
in the MLS in the area.
Condos, you have duplexes, you have houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything there.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, this is within your price range, or
Yeah.
this is what you're looking for in this area. And
Yeah.
So you don't see it as rejection. So when most people
No,
walk in, some agents,
absolutely not.
number one, some agents, I actually had a neighbor tell me he went to an open house the other day and he's like, I think this person suffers from social skills. And I'm like, how do you say that? They didn't even acknowledge me.
Yeah.
They didn't even look up when I walked in, right? Or you'll have agents that, a buyer walks in and it's not what they're looking for. So then they see that as rejection, so they back off.
They back off, yeah. And to me, it's like that opportunity of doing an open house is an opportunity for you to get hired, whether it's a buyer or a seller. I mean, in addition to that, I also have information about the neighborhood. I have a seller's packet ready to go. Educate the seller. Hey, this is what's sold in your area. Ask questions. That you always remember that the person asking the question is the one in control. And to me, when I do an open house, it's an event. This is it's like hosting a party, if you will. And I want to make sure my guests, which are the people walking in, are having a good time. I have food, as you know. I love to eat. Well, depending on the property and obviously the sellers, we might have like wine or we'll have champagne. We'll do like coffee. We'll do mimosas. It all depends, and then really make them feel special. We'll have food. We'll have music. I mean, I've actually had a piano player at one of my listings. Yeah. And it's all about the customer experience, because remember, buying a house, it's probably the biggest decision they're going to make. So you want to make sure you hit the 5 senses, sight. House needs to look good. Got to be clean.
Yeah.
That's a service that we offer is, we have the houses clean, professionally clean. It's got to look good. Once again, the staging, so that when people walk in, they're not going to be thinking like, oh, well, what is this? Also smell. We have plugins. So when you walk in, or sometimes if we're, during winter, during fall, we'll have cookies baking in the oven, or even here's a trick. You just have boiling water with I'm thinking in Spanish, canela, cinnamon, orange slices. Just have it boiling, and it creates that smell. Obviously, hearing. We have music. We have light music. I set a Pandora station on something light, nothing too crazy. You don't want to walk in and have Bad Bunny playing, right? No. Well, no. Depends on the house. What are we selling? No, but something soothing, and just like light jazz going, and you set the mood. And then obviously lighting. I mean, I turn on all the lights, open the windows, and it's just, they walk in and it's an experience.
Right. So do you provide maybe like a checklist to the sellers that say, hey, this is how you prepare to get the home ready? Like, put your toothpaste away, put the dishes away. Okay, so that's important.
Yes. In addition, so when I go in my interviewing, when they're interviewing me to see if they want to list with me, I show them my past listings. I show them this is what you're going to get. And I'll give you a perfect example. I had a listing that one of my investors had purchased. They fixed it up. It looked really nice. But once again, we did professional photography. We did the staging. We did a broker's open. We invited the neighbors. So there was we did all the social media, Facebook, Instagram. We did reels. So there was all this interest around this house. Right. A few blocks down, the exact same floor plan was also put on the market like a day or two after us. Oh. Same scenario. It was also an investor, totally different investor.
Probably got all of your marketing,
right? They're like, ooh. But the difference is that real estate agent didn't do they took pictures with their phone. The house was vacant, so they didn't stage it. I think they held open houses, but at the end, we sold $85,000 above.
Wow.
And if you were to look at, I mean, like the upgrades that both, investors did,
Mhm.
it was very similar. The laminate flooring, the white, the countertops, everything was similar. Stainless steel, it was almost identical. But what did we do different is we did the staging, the photography, the social media ads. We created interest.
Right.
Yeah, and that's huge.
And you help people envision themselves in the home, where they
Right.
walked in and it just smelled so good and it looked
Right.
so cozy and it was just so presentable and aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah.
of that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
You said you have a seller's report. So what's in your seller's report? Is it just comparables? Or
Comparables,
is it
yeah.
information about you? Or?
Yes, it's an information about me. As you mentioned earlier, my awards. I'm a luxury agent with Coldwell Banker. I've been top sales my office. In addition, I've Diamond Society, which is like the top 10% for Coldwell Banker International. It's my resume, if you will. And once again, it's like because right now buyers and sellers are pretty savvy thanks to our phones and all the apps,
Right.
so they could look us up. They could see what we do.
Mhm.
So I think
There's no line
yeah. And it's interesting because, I know you're big in social media. You're huge actually.
Thank you.
And, but you have the numbers to back you up.
Right.
Your top sales. And I see other agents that, they're all talk. I'm like, you know what? Let me look up their productivity. I'm like, they've sold 2 houses in the last 24 months. I'm like, and so it's like, yeah, it's one of those things in this market right now, I think we have to offer the best. It's not like before where you got a listing and you put it for sale and boom,
It sells itself.
yeah,
You have to put in the work.
we have to do work, yeah.
Absolutely.
But it always should have been that way. Like
It
it
always-
always, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because if it comes easy, easy come, easy go. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And all those agents are probably no longer in the business
No.
right now.
A lot of them are getting part-time jobs,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. And I think because I think you have a little bit more years in the business, but when I got my license, that's when the market dropped.
Oh, yeah?
08, 09, people were losing their houses, the economy was horrible, we were short selling. I mean, Victoria and I in our group, remember we used to go door knocking and door hanging.
Mhm.
we did that. We've done it,
all.
Yeah. But I think that's what's going to set everybody apart. That's what set you apart is you're a hustler. You're out there, you're working, you don't mind,
We're
so.
not afraid to get our nails done.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
You talked about inviting the neighbors. Do you have a separate open house like an exclusive open house for the neighbors prior to putting it on the market, or do you just invite everybody? Or
Yes. So what I'll do is if I do like a broker's open, so for example, I'll do brokers open for a brokers exclusive,
Mhm.
12 to 2. And then what I'll do is I'll do a neighbors from like 3 to whatever, 3 to 4, and then regular open house 4 to whatever, 7 or 6, depending on the what time of the year we're doing them. But you kind of kill, because what happens is the neighbors come over and they see all these people. We have food, obviously. We have music. Sometimes we'll have a DJ and they're like, whoa,
Oh my
what
gosh,
is this? What's
I
going
love
on?
your open house.
Yeah. And we'll do a theme. Yeah. Our brokers open house. We've done like Cinco de Mayo. We've done, Italian Fest.
Yeah.
We've done cheese and wine night. And it's like the neighbors are coming over and they're like, wow, this real estate agent is really on top. They're doing all this where other agents are. And like you said earlier, Victoria, I like on my days off, I'll go to open houses. Like, I'll be in my baseball hat, workout gear, whatever, and people won't recognize me and I'll see what they're doing, Yeah, exactly. What are they doing?
Yeah.
But, and you're right, a lot of,
That should be a good reality show.
yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I'll follow you around.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because most of the times I get ignored. No one says hi.
Mhm.
If they have flyers, a lot of times they're just black and white MLS printout. Nothing about the property, nothing special. But then I see the other part where I see what agents do. They'll go, for example, I went to an open house and this agent had actually baked the cookies herself and had individually wrapped them. And she put like a little thank you sticker. And to me, I was like, I got to do that.
Nice.
Because how cool is that? She put all this time and effort into baking the cookies the night before. And then she put a little thank you. And I was like, in her card. And I was like, how cool is that? You know?
It is nice,
Yeah.
especially with COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
saying COVID's coming back.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna get into that
I know.
topic right
That's
now.
totally different.
Yeah. But it might be a good idea to wrap up the
Yeah,
cookies.
but even you're right. Even during COVID, that's what I did. Is I had this lady that I saw on Instagram that she makes cookies. She individually wrapped them, and then we had to do like the sanitizing and all that. Remember, it's like yeah, but it is what it is. So
Yeah, so I remember last time you came, you brought. I mean, you had mentioned how you actually bring toys for the kids.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yeah. So what I do is I have a little a box that you could get like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Ross, whatever you wherever you shop, Target. You just get a nice little box, like a wicker box or a wooden box, and then you just fill it up with toys. Stuff from like Walmart, Target, the Dollar Tree. But it's just stuff that's going to entertain the kids, because because a lot of times kids are anxious. They want to go. They want to leave. I know, I'm bored. Yeah. And if you give them, hey, would you like to pick a toy? And they're like, okay, cool. Not only that, but you're also interacting with the whole family. You're interacting with the obviously the potential buyers, which are usually the parents. If they bring their grandparents, you start talking to them as well. It's like, oh, how are you also from San Diego? No, where are you from? You're genuinely interested in the conversation. And then obviously the kids, I tell them, hey, kids, go pick out your room. And then they run and they pick out the room, and they have their little toy. And then, they come back and they're like, oh, Mr. Sal, I picked the blue room and she's going to get the pink room. And I'm like, oh, cool. How are you going to decorate it? And then you get them thinking. And because, a lot of times parents make decisions based on the family needs, which are the kids. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, really quick story. I had a listing, beautiful listing, and just random family walked in. They followed the open house sign because the kids got excited. That was one of the open houses. I had the piano playing. We had Italian food. We had desserts. The kids walked in and the family walked in. I'm like, hey, you guys, come on in. You guys are late. And they're like looking at me like, who are you? And then I just started engaging, talking to them. I wasn't selling. I was like, oh, how'd you hear about us? And they were telling. I was like, great. I showed them around. I said, and here we have, at that time we had like cupcakes, we had brownies, and then we had like cookies, And so the kids are like, Mom, can I get one? And then the mom says, yes, but go outside and eat it. So then the kids run outside by the pool. I had the pool going. It had like a waterfall. And so the parents are looking around. They're like, oh, wow. They see the kids eating outside. And then the kids came back and they told me about the rooms. And they're telling me like, oh, my grandma lives nearby and our friend lives over there. And then this is the thing. I get them my information. They didn't want to sign in. I didn't force them to sign in. The next day I get a call and it was the buyers, and they're like, you know what? We want to see the house again, but we want to bring my in-laws. And I said, absolutely. I met them at the property and, showed them around, let them do their thing. I wasn't pushy. I was just there and, help them out whenever they had questions, let them be. Then they came back and then they said, Sal, we want to put an offer. And I was like, great, let's do it. Yeah.
So they were able to envision themselves in that home.
That's it. Yeah.
Seeing the kids there.
Yeah.
Beautiful, you catering, and
yeah,
it showed what their home would be like when they're hosting.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's funny because once we were in escrow, we were doing the inspection, the buyers told me, Sal, I secretly hate you because I wasn't even buying. I wasn't looking for a house. But then we walk in and you had the piano player, you had this and that, and we just fell in love. We couldn't stop talking about the house.
Wow.
Now imagine if the house was empty. Imagine if there was no piano player, it wasn't staged, there was no food, and you walk into a cold house. It might not have worked for them, but for them, like you said, and that's one of the things, as they said, our family lives close by. We just thought about entertaining. We thought about the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and the whole layout of the kitchen, and it's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about when the home is in escrow. Do you farm the area?
Yes.
Again?
Yes. Yeah. So we do multiple touches.
Okay.
We do coming soon. So we farm the area. We do the postcards. We do the door hangers coming soon. And then finally, when it's, we do the open house, we invite them again. And then, when it goes pending, we notify the neighbors. When it sells, we do it again. But through the whole process, people are seeing your face and your information, like 3, 4, 5 times sometimes.
Right.
So they become accustomed to you. They're like, oh, Victoria, she's the agent.
And one thing too, when you have agents hosting open houses
Mhm.
on your listings, agents, if you guys are hosting open houses
Yeah.
on someone else's listing, make sure you tell the agents to
Yeah.
put it on the MLS so
Yes.
that people know about it.
Yeah.
Right?
So as a listing agent, you're right, Victoria, you have to go in and schedule the open house so that it's syndicated to all the apps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'll have people that'll say, your agents that'll say, well, I put up 5, 6 signs. Or
Nobody showed up.
Nobody showed up. Well, was it
Yeah.
on the internet?
Yeah.
That's important, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then how many signs do you normally use?
Well, it all depends. I mean, it depends on the, the area. If it's a complex, it's going to vary from city to city, how many you could put out. But what's that saying? It's better to ask for forgiveness and ask for permission.
Right. Yeah,
So I personally have 12 signs, and sometimes I might borrow some signs, if it's like, kind of far away, if it's in a complex. But I say minimum 10 to 12 signs. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give new agents that have never hosted an open house? Do you recommend that they maybe role play, or they shadow agents
Yeah.
before? Or what's your, because you are a trainer.
I know, I was gonna say, number one, come to my class.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And once again, I have like what I teach, I have it. I could email it to them if they want it.
Okay.
But in addition to that is partner up with an experienced agent. Right. Obviously someone that produces, because I remember one of our newer agents went to an open house with an agent, and it was like, I was like, well, how'd it go? And they started telling me, I'm like, no, that's not what we do. The agent was not the best in doing open houses. So, but for them, for the person learning, it was like, they learned what not to do,
Right.
But definitely partner up with another real estate agent within your office that's good at doing open houses, and just follow it. And just think about it like this. This is how I see it. And like, my background is in retail.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to offer them like Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue service,
Mm-hmm.
or do you want to offer them Walmart service? And not to, bag on Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
but we've all been there. We walk into Walmart, we're like, oh my God, they move things around. Like,
right.
Where's the toilet paper?
But Walmart,
Yeah.
Everybody goes to Walmart because they want a discount, and you're trying to get your client.
You get what you pay for.
Prices,
yeah,
right?
You get what you pay for. Yeah.
You had mentioned to me when we had spoken previously that you are very old school when it comes to signing in. You don't have them sign in on an iPad. You give them a physical clipboard. Right?
Clipboard, yeah. So with my home warranty company, First American Home Warranty, Michelle Adcock, hello. You use her, right? You use her as well? Or
I
who
use
did?
her
And somebody else. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, exactly. There's more than enough business for everyone. But First American has this sheet that basically asks the client or the potential client to rate the house from 1 to 5. So what did you think about, for example, the pricing? What did you think about the curb appeal? What did you think about the kitchen, the backyard, the size of the series of questions? So you make them feel special. So when they walk in, you say, hey, first, how'd you hear about us? Oh, I saw it on social media, whatever, or I followed the signs, and oh, great. If you don't mind, the seller would appreciate any feedback you could provide. If you don't mind filling out this questionnaire, you give them the clipboard with your pins with your information, and they walk around and they rate the house, and to them they're like, oh wow, they want my opinion. Then there's a section that obviously asks for their name. Are they looking to buy? Are they working with the real estate agent? And what are they looking for? And then I just go back, and when they hand it over to me, I go over the response. I'm like, oh, so you feel the house is too small. What exactly are you looking for? And then they say, oh, I'm looking for something about 2,000 square feet. So I start writing it down. How many bedrooms do you need? 5. Okay, 5 bed. What price do you feel comfortable working in? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. And then I say, great. You know what? I'm going to get the list ready. I'm going to email it to you. So what's your email and what's your phone number? And then you write it down, because a lot of times, a lot of people, they just write random numbers down, or, you can't make out, what is that? Is that a 9 or a 6 or a 1 or an I? You can't figure it out,
And how soon, because a lot of agents ask me, like, how soon is too soon to be following up with these leads, right? So you do an open house on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, So if I do open house on Saturday, if they provide their mailing address and in my open house kit, I have like thank you cards.
Oh, nice.
So I have that ready to go. I write it in, thank you for, and then drop it off on Monday, and then they'll probably receive it Tuesday or Wednesday. But also text them, thank you for stopping by my open house.
Yeah.
And then, I also set them up on the home search, and then I send them an email. Obviously you don't want to be too pushy, it's not like you're going to be, hey, but you wait, it's a lot. I mean, you might not see the results maybe till 3 months, 6 months from when you meet them. You never know. Some of them a year. But the main thing is not only do you get yourself involved, but you also get your preferred lender. Like in your case, Abe. Yeah, Abel. So it's like, he follows up with them as well, Hey, here's, this is my preferred lender. You send an introduction. So then the preferred lender will reach out to them and go over their different loan options. So
you should always try to have a lender with you.
Exactly.
And not only because you want to be a source of information for them, but also for safety reasons too.
Exactly. You never.
Yeah.
And this is what I tell my agents, especially our female agents, is that, you know what, do not do an open house alone, especially right now. There's a lot of craziness in this world. So try to partner up.
Right.
And sometimes, we do have agents, our newer agents, they partner up, then they love working together and they do it again and again and again. If you have a lender as well, that's a great, but even if you have, like, say, for example, if you have adult or teenagers, bring them with you to work. Why not? Put them to work.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's very much
Right?
familiar with that.
And now she's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my little retirement
There you
plan.
go.
She's not even here yet. She better get here
I
soon.
know. Where's she at?
I know. So this is a topic, off topic.
Yeah.
You always wear your badge.
I do.
Your name badge.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why do you do that?
Because it's interesting, and I got this from Tom Ferry. For those of you guys know who Tom Ferry is, he's a real estate coach. But he always said, always wear your badge. Always, walk into Starbucks like this. And it's funny because people don't even, when I'm at Starbucks, they don't even ask for my name. They just write, they see, oh, Sal.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's a conversation starter. And I've been at Ralph's, I've been at Vaughn's, I picked up buyers at Costco, the cashiers. They start asking me questions. Is now a good time to sell? And I said, why? Yes, why? Oh, it's because, we inherited a house and we don't know what to do. It's a fixer-upper. I'm like, oh. It's like, what's the address? Yeah, no, and it's just a way to engage. It's a way to make communication. I've had other agents, that, have asked, we make conversation. Oh, you're in real estate. Yeah. So am I. And we start talking about the business and, hey, but it's just, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any?
It's great.
It's great. Depends. Are you looking to buy or sell? No, because the thing is, the reality of the matter is it's always going to be, whether the market is up or down, there's always going to be that need. Right now, a lot of my clients are calling me because they want to upgrade something bigger, something smaller. What's that pain and pleasure? They call you because they're excited because the family's growing. The kids are growing up. That's the pleasure. The pain, they're calling us up because unfortunately somebody passed away. It's the life cycle, and it's interesting because I just had a transaction that closed that my clients called me because his mom had passed away. And I had never met her, but still, when the funeral came, you got to show that human part of it. You show up to the funeral. You send flowers to the family. Yeah. You have to. Yeah. And it's funny because the same client, when we were, once again, we have the house clean. And that day, one of my cleaning ladies called out sick. So instead of having two, it was only one of them.
Don't tell me you went to the house and helped.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, let me give you a high five. Right now. That is just dedication right
So I threw on the sweats. I was out there cleaning, and then he just happened to come over to the house. And then he called the wife and he's like, you're not going to believe this. Sal is cleaning the house. He's with the cleaning lady. And then later on, when I saw the wife, she's all like, yeah, he called me and told me you were cleaning. Like, we didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, it's the part of the business. That a lot of people think that this is such an easy business. Right. It's like, oh my God, especially with all these great shows that we love, reality shows, but it's not as easy. It's not as easy.
Some of those those luxury agents
Yeah.
put on their knees.
Grubbing, no, they'll hire someone.
Call Sal.
Yeah, I know.
Or
I'll do it.
Victoria. I'll hire someone.
But sometimes we have to do, we have to. And this is the thing, and I know that it's true about you is, and this is what sets you aside, apart from everybody else, is you're a problem solver. And I mean, as you know, this business, things are thrown at us left and right. It's not as easy as it sounds, but then we have to, adjust. And, if someone calls out sick, then, that's why earlier, like I told you, our receptionist was called out sick. And so the other one stepped in, and then I had to go, and I'm like, hey, what do you need to eat? Cause she couldn't step away, and I picked her up lunch. But it's in going back, what I said earlier, people will forget what you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. And and through this business, just earlier, you had one of your former employees, and it's funny because when I submitted an offer, DJ, when I submitted an offer on his listing, he's all, we're gonna make it work. And he took my offer. Why? Because I met him through you. I met him when he was fresh and green, and he was at one of our classes, and he remembered me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like a little celebrity here.
Oh,
SPP.
thank you.
Everyone must be like, Sal.
Yeah, it's true, because I'll be out and they're like, Sal, can I take a picture? I'm going to send it to Victoria. I'm like, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah, I remember I was in LA with people who were over the weekend, and I get a picture with, you're one of the agents.
Yeah.
You guys are at some event.
Yeah, some event. Yeah.
I think it's happened a couple
of times. Yeah, a couple of times. And it's cool because, I mean, our business is this big, the circle. We all know each other and we all remember. And this is my thing. And this is very important, guys. In this business, don't take anything personal. You know what? Like, for example, if I write up an offer on Victoria's listing and she doesn't take my offer, I'm not going to take it personal. I mean, it is, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can only do so much, but we continue, we go, and yes, ideally we would want to, work together, but sometimes, like you said, we have no control over that, Yeah.
So someone as successful as you that does it
Yeah.
all, when do you rest, and what do you
I know.
What do you do during your downtime? Like,
I sleep.
How do you recharge? Besides
I
sleeping,
sleep.
like,
No.
what do you do during your free time if you have?
Yeah. Well, it's
You're very close to your mom.
Yeah. The family. Yeah. It's all about balance, and sometimes in this madness, in this business, see, this is why I got into the business, because one of the things is, I want to make my own schedule. Like, how cool is that? I'm not going to be working, I'm not going to be stuck behind a desk. I want to make my own schedule. Yeah. Well, yes, as you know, we make our own schedule, but it could also be our worst enemy because it could consume us.
You don't have a
Yeah, you don't. No. So it's got to be balanced. Like, I know you love to work out. You love to, go running, hiking. You love doing all that, and you make time for it. Same thing, make time for your family. And to me, it's the same thing. I got to make time for it, and there are times that I make time for myself where I say, no, today it's about me. I'm going to go do my thing. I'm going to, whether it's, treat myself to, something, shopping spree or whatever the case may be. But then at the same time, making time for the family, making time for my friends. Cause I mean, how many times do we run? Oh, I haven't seen you in forever, cause then they're like, oh, he or she is too busy. They don't have time for us anymore. So we got to be balanced. That, and I mean, travel. I love to travel.
You do?
Yeah. I'm leaving in a few days.
I'm going to be stalking you.
I know. Where are you going? Yeah.
And I feel like someone like you who's so creative, it's especially being in real estate. I mean, I see the homes that you feature, and then I see your home, and it's got to be therapeutic to decorate and be so creative with. I'm sure it doesn't feel like work to you.
Yeah, no. And it's funny because sometimes it's like with our business, I mean, like I said, it's not easy, but then at the same time, we have those times like right now, like I don't even feel like I'm working.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah. But then in our events, we go to, social events that we have to go to. Not we don't have to, but it helps out. And then when I'm at my open house, it's like I'm at a party. It's like, oh, cool, I get paid to throw a party. I'm cool. But it's fun. I love what I do. And I think once again, this is a business that it's not for everyone. Because you have to be a hard worker, number one. You have to be good with people, and you have to be a problem solver. And also, in a sense, we have to be a psychologist. And that was my major, by the way.
Oh,
Uh,
no wonder
I
you're
major.
not the secret's out.
I know.
Now I know. Just kidding.
I'm crazy.
No.
But as you know, Victoria, because you have a lot of clients and you care about your clients, and they come to you with a lot, and that's what I had a conversation. Speaking of not taking things personal,
Mhm.
and I had this conversation with one of my agents because she was getting so frustrated with the in-laws, and I said, no, 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 no.
Mhm.
Like, you don't want to do that. You got to be there, but you got to take control. You got to be the professional.
Right.
You got to remind them, this is what I do, because sometimes
You can't get emotional
yeah,
about it.
you
It's
can't.
professional.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to take control of the situation.
Right.
And that's what it's going to set you apart from everybody else. So
Yeah, so one of my last questions, a lot of agents right now, there's half the inventory,
right.
less than half. It's very difficult for agents to have an agent allow them to host an open house.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have heard is that it's probably a good idea to possibly maybe reach out to agents that are out of your zip code or area code, sorry, and maybe because they might be non-local agents. Have you heard? Is that a good tactic? Like, for instance, we're 619, right?
Right.
If you see a 702 area zip code,
Yeah.
not zip code,
Area
code, you probably should call that agent because most likely they're non-local and they're not going to have anyone.
Yeah, they're not going to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, take it one step further, Victoria.
Mhm.
Like you said, there's limited inventory, but instead of complaining about it, what are we going to do about it? And create your own inventory, because the
Mhm.
reality of the matter is, if you've been in the business for a while, you probably sold a few properties. So maybe your past clients, what happened to them? Maybe they're thinking about selling.
Oh, yeah.
So reach out to them. If you're a new agent, then yeah, reach out to agents that have the listings and see if they will allow you to do an open house, or get a little creative. I mean, like, once again, doing like street events. Why not? Why not do your what is it, farmers market?
Right.
Why not do an event at a school? Put up a booth about information, or why not do your local swap meet or something like that?
And I'm glad that you brought up past clients because I actually started, it's been difficult with everything that I'm managing to stay in touch with my past clients, right?
Yeah.
So, I send them magazines, I send them newsletters, the pies once a year, but I haven't been able to pick up the phone as often as I'd like.
Yeah.
So I started getting back into that habit, and I called a past client who sold the property with me, bought a property, and this wasn't even a year ago.
Wow.
And when I called him to say hi, to see how everything was coming along, the home was on the market.
Oh, wow.
So never think that you have it in the bag.
Never.
And I was like,
Yeah.
had I been in touch and in connection, maybe once a quarter, or at least twice a year, if I had picked up the phone, because I said, "Oh, did you not receive my magazine?" "Oh, yeah, I'm getting your magazines," and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's so important to stay connected with your past clients, and I screwed up.
Yeah, but you know what? It happens to the best. It happened to me.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because one time I clearly remember I was on my way to do a pop by for a client. For those that don't know, a pop by is a little gift that you drop off. Usually it's like during the holiday season, whether it's, Happy Easter, Happy Holidays, the pies, something like that. I was on my way because I had been talking to my clients for a while, and they said, yes, we're going to sell. We're going to sell. I said, great. So I'm, taking this little pop by. It was around the holiday season. And then as I'm driving up, I see open house signs. I'm like, oh my God, how cool is that? A property just went on the market where my new listing is going to be that. So I could tell my sellers, hey, guess what? Someone just went on the market. Here's a perfect opportunity for us. As I'm getting closer, I start realizing the signs are going to my client's house. And at that point, I could have taken it personal, but no. So what I did is I left the pop by the front door, and I took a picture, and I text my client, and I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I dropped off something in the front of your house. I said, but I didn't want to go in because I know you guys had an open house. I just wanted to wish you a merry happy holidays, whatever it was. They actually did text me back, and they said, oh my God, we wanted to talk to you. We just felt so bad. Do you have time to talk? And I said, absolutely. And they called me and they said, you know what? The thing is, we're buying a new house, and they said that we had to use their people. We couldn't use you. You know how that goes. Yeah. And I was like, that's, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. But then they in turn referred me other listings. And actually, when they got their house, they invited me, to dinner, and I went. I didn't take it personal, and I'm walking around like, but I didn't let it get to me. And obviously, the house is beautiful, and I said, you know what, it's a beautiful house. I could see where you're going to make it a home, and we still continue. We still continue to be in contact, but it happens to all of us.
I never think you have it in the bag.
Never.
Even if, these clients, they sold, I helped them with 2 transactions. They gave me a great review.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they were going to be loyal forever.
Yeah.
But sometimes they lose your contact information. In this case, that wasn't the case. I think what happened was the lady that farms that neighborhood, they're constantly getting her stuff every month.
Yeah.
So they called her. It was just easier that way.
Yeah, it was easy. She probably caught them at the right moment. They're like, you know what, just call her to see what she has to say. They were probably going to call you as well, but then this person just, took it, and it's okay. And to me, and yeah, you try to be consistent, like you said, but sometimes the reality is, you get with life.
You can't do it all. So,
you can't.
I kick myself in the rear, but I understand that I can't do it all. I'm not going to win them all.
Yeah, and it's okay. And it's okay if you don't get them, but you know what? You're going to get the next one. And
they're actually going to buy another property. They're going to go through me.
There you go.
But they just thought she's an expert in that neighborhood, so why not? But I get it. Well, I want to thank you so much for
of course.
You could be here forever.
I know.
Enjoying it.
Has it been already? Am I done? Am I getting get out of here?
Actually, we went over.
Yeah.
Which I love. But
I get paid overtime. I wish.
I know you're a busy man, so I'm
I always make time for you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. You are such a success story, and I'm glad that you came on. Everyone's going to learn so much from this podcast.
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, and thanks for listening if you're listening on the podcast channels. All right, guys. Bye. Till next time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Selling Sandoval podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and stay tuned for more valuable insights and practical tips. Remember, whether you're a buyer, seller, or an aspiring real estate agent, the Selling Sandoval podcast is your trusted companion in navigating the dynamic California real estate landscape. Until next time, keep dreaming big and making those real estate dreams a reality. This is Victoria Sandoval, signing off from the Selling Sandoval podcast, wishing you success and happiness in all of your real estate endeavors.